Hey guys, how you doing? It's Bob Augusto, shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's been a long time since we've been in the garage. Today I'm going to be tackling a job on the Goldwing. It wasn't expected, but it's been causing me some problems. It's the dreaded no start condition code 19 CKP sensor plug. So basically where that unit is located it's located in the timing cover. Now, this being an ABS motorcycle, 2012 second gen, second gen. They claim that to get to the plug to disconnect that off the system, it's located down up in here. So you basically got to go through all of this, in through the air cleaner, below the air cleaner, and that's where the plug is located. I'm not going to say that's right or wrong. I'm not thrilled to do it, but we got to get it done. The bike has failed on me a couple of times. Now, in the situation that I've had, when the bike did do a no start condition and started throwing the codes, I'd literally just grab a rock and I would smack the case right here 2 or 3 times. Not very hard, just to cause a little harmonic shock. And the bike started every time, and it would run for, I don't know, a week, and then they would recreate the condition. Usually what seems to upset the bike is if I'm doing a lot of highway. High-speed runs on the highway for any length of time. I usually would set the condition off. Just to show you what it looks like, the bike currently now is running, so I can't show you the actual code, but I can show you how the code is obtained. So here we have the check engine light. Shut it off. There's the check engine light there. It'll shut off now, obviously. But what happens is when you try to crank the thing over, the bike will just crank and crank and crank. You'll get nothing from the bike. Basically, it's not getting a crank trigger pulse, so it doesn't know where any of the pistons are and so forth, so it can't send the spark. So what happens is this will start flashing. So in this case, it was throwing a code 19. So what happens is it'll do a long flash, and what a long flash means is a number 10. And then it'll do a subsequent series of short flashes, which are individual numbers. So in the case of this, I would get 1 long flash and 9 short flashes, and that would be 19. And I'll put the chart here, and it'll show you that the code 19 is the CKP sensor. Now, because I'm able to get it started when it does show a no start condition by smacking the cover, and right on the other side of that cover is where the sensor is located, I'm pretty confident that it is actually the sensor itself. It's not a dirty plug, it's none of that, because I'm hitting the sensor itself and it's engaging. So maybe there's a crack on it, there's probably something that happened to it, some condition through heat and cooling over the years that just caused it to fail. A very simple job in terms of parts. You have the actual sensor here, and this gets mounted on the back side of that cover, and this is the culprit right here. This little bugger right here, you're going to have to find. It's buried in the bike. According to all I've read, this is buried in the bike on the ABS models. And obviously you always want to replace gaskets. I don't know what kind of condition it's going to be getting out, and I don't want to find out that it's in bad condition if I get in there and have to wait to order parts. So everything up front. So with that, I'm just going to continue, and we're going to start digging into it. I think I'm going to take the front fender off just to get me some more room in there, and I'm going to take off plastics. Now, I don't have any detailed instructions on how to take this apart in terms of what's the best way to do it, so I'm just going to wing it, pardon the pun, and I'm just going to take off what I think I need to take off to gain access to what I do. But I'm going to take the front fender off, give me some more room, and I'm going to start taking all these plastics off down here to gain access to that cover, because that's where the culprit is. Okay? So let's get started with that. Aside from it here, so that takes that off. Yeah, I'm going to be kind of glad I'm doing this. There's a lot of unclean dirt in there. For those, I mean, we've done this before, but the one with the rubber is always the bottom. Now we want to take the back piece off. These side pieces, actually, I'm sorry, the side pieces here. I try not to use the power tool to do final tightening. Yeah, a lot of dirt falling out of there. handle. Definitely some stuff that's going to come out here. I forgot all about that. I thought this was just going to be easy. Spoke too soon, I suppose. So we're going to pull, I think that's a 10 millimeter, and then these are going to come out smaller. That's like an 8 millimeter. So I got these small little ratcheting open ends. They make things a lot easier. Good. So if you got a Kiriakin fork brace, this might be a little difficult. I'm debating whether to loosen that up and just slide it out of the way. There's rocks and dirt and everything falling out of it. Utah was not friendly to this bike this year. That red rock, sand. That's the Kiriakin fork brace. I did that a couple of years ago. You can see the video in the upper right hand corner. I'll put that on here. Okay, so the ABS distribution valve, it's this top one. That's a 10 mil. See, that's getting loose. This should drop right out of here. Okay, that was not very comfortable to do, but out it came. So, those 2-4 bolts, we actually had to unbolt this distribution just to give it enough wiggle room to pass the fender out the back side here. Okay, I'm going to take these things now and kind of put them where they belong. I'm just going to pull that off. I'm going to take these off. Now I've come to the conclusion I'm taking these off. I'm going to pull this off. I'm not going to loosen anything. I'm going to put it back the way it was, but I got to clean in there. That's terrible. I don't think you guys are aware, but when I went to Utah this year, we got into a little accident going over a pass in Cedar City, me and my son. And I don't want to film it. I mean, I filmed it. I really don't want to show it because it was pretty graphic. Because my son did get hurt. Not terribly, but not good either. He suffered some injuries, some stitches and so forth. Anyway, he dumped and got hurt. And my bike fell over into the side of the road, to a drainage ditch, as it was a torrent of water coming through. So basically my bike relatively got buried in the mud. So that happened, oh boy, a year ago today, or a year ago this week. The bike was just caked in mud. And I've high pressure washed it so many times. And every now and then if I do a piece of maintenance on it, it just rains mud. So I guess as I go along here, I'm going to taking stuff off, I'm going to clean in there. So all of this needs to be cleaned. Okay, I think the next thing I want to do is I want to take off this black cover here. Okay, and I want to take this cover off as well. This one here and this one here. I mean, it looks like I could get to this front cover without having to do that. But like I had mentioned before, I want to get up in here and do some cleaning. So this cover is relatively simple. It's just kind of a little difficult. So let me see if I get some light on here. So we got a pull plastic pin here, pull plastic pin here. It looks to be a 5 millimeter hex. Up underneath here, there's a couple of pull plastic pins. There's like one right there. And I think that's it. No, there's one right there. So there's a few. This whole shroud in here should come off, and the hex. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that apart, get this piece out of here, and I might make getting this lower valance piece out easier. Okay, now getting this off is going to be the best way you can. There you go. Nice. There's the cover. A little bit of cleaning on that too. So I'm going to take these components now. These all belong to it. Put them all together. And then put them back clean. Oh, we got a bunch of stuff in there, huh? That's some kind of ABS system. That's the ABS system in there. Here's the cover. Alright. There's the wire right there. comes up, and then it travels down, goes into oblivion. So we have no idea where the other end of that is, but it looks like it kind of hugs the, if you're sitting on the bike, on the right side of the motorcycle. All right, so yeah, it's going to be a fiasco. So here's that whole thing. These are the ABS actuators right here, right? And they say on the ABS bikes, and I couldn't figure out why the ABS bikes would be the challenge, and it's because of these things. So I'm assuming, I think this actuator is the bugger. That's the one that's causing the trouble. So there's still some plastic here. I'm going to take this lower valance off next. Okay, screw here, which is missing. Gonna have to put something on order there. Screw here. And there's one here, and there's one on the side there. And that'll pull this off and expose the whole front. Maybe I'll get lucky. I doubt it. Because a lot of people complain about that. I don't know if it's a complaint, but it's definitely an obstacle. All right, let's go ahead and change gears and get this lower valance off. They're identical, so what goes here and here are identical. And then there's one on the other side, which is identical. On this have been 5mm. A rock just fell out of it. I'm just going to kind of pull this away, back this plastic away. This fits underneath. This actually fits underneath this, behind it. So you got to kind of move it out of the way. And there you go. Voila. I did that in Wyoming. That came out. There's a little bit of Utah for you. Okay, so my worst fears were realized. Okay, so I don't even know if it, without the ABS, would make a difference, but this wire basically goes, I'm not sure if you could even see it, basically roots itself into oblivion. There's no way to get to it. Maybe if that ABS wasn't there, but I don't even think that's the issue. I think the issue is it's just on top of the motor, down up underneath there. So I don't even know where the plugs are or anything. So I'm going to need to come in through the top for that. Well, I don't know how deep I have to go in, so all of this shell has to come off. Seat, side covers, everything. Just like I was doing an air filter. And a lot of people actually do their air filters when they have to replace this project. So this is it's a big job. It's a big job for an easy replacement part. So I'm going to start that. Holy crap. That's a lot. That's a lot for so little. We're going to need to get all the way down below the airbox. Okay, so next I'm going to what? I'm going to take the CPU out, lay that off to the side. Okay, so here we go. So basically, with the removal of the front, we're going to go at it under the guise of doing an air filter. So I've removed everything off the top, and I have a video on how to do the air cleaner on this bike, for the air filter. So you can review that to get you into detail of how I did all of this. But basically, we are at the point where we would take this cover off and replace the filter. Now, unfortunately, we have to go even lower than that because everything is living underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the cover off, and I want to see what's underneath all of this. Hopefully I can get at that plug. If I can get at that plug, then we'll go and we'll switch gears and move to the front of the bike and finish this up. That's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. Nope. So far, my little screens that I put on, and I have a video for that you can look for, have been doing their job. I do agree with a lot of the comments that come through, where they state a mouse can get into very small areas. But I think if it's difficult enough, they won't. Try it. I managed to get the airbox out, and that was no small feat. In here, there's two boots. You got this one and you got this one. This one here has that red plug, and that's the culprit. That's the plug we need to get to. These things were tucked in up over here. Up over here. There was absolutely no way that you were going to get to that, because it's literally behind one of those ABS. It's literally behind one of those ABS actuators. Let's recap. The airbox has this hose that comes out of it, and basically that hose snakes its way through down in here and ends up out here on the head. There's a cap there, so when there's oil overflow, it will drain down, and that's actually a thing you look at when you do the plugs and so forth, to take that cap out and let that hose drain. Mine was pretty clean, but all of this had to come out as though I'm doing the plugs. This whole spark plug cover came out. So this is a much larger job than you would think it to be. Now, I managed to pull the box out. You got that hose that I showed you. This hose clips to it, and it's got some flexibility that I'm pretty much able to, you know, put it back on and put that clip on, because these clips have to be on good. Problem here is there's also two more hoses. There's one here and there's one here. And when I pulled the box out, it managed to just let go. There is absolutely no way, that I can put that back on properly without taking the gas tank out. So that's what has to come out next. This gas tank, I've never taken the tank out of this, but this gas tank has to come out, because in order to put the box back on, the Airbox, I need to get to those 2 hose clamps, because there's no way I'm going to just try to force it in there. It's not going to work. So I have to take this gas tank out. So now we know why there are not many YouTubes or much information on doing this job, because it's a really tough, involved job. I'm not even sure how much gas I have in the tank. So that's it. I'm going to take a little break now, and then we're going to continue on. I got to take the gas tank off. That's the next step. There's a lot of gas in there. Oh, bummer. Gas tank. I've taken the gas tank up and out, not off, but up and out. And the reason why I had to do that is I have these lines here. There's one on either end, and I need to be able to get underneath it and attach it to the Airbox when I put the Airbox back in. Luckily, I didn't have to take the thing fully out. I'm very grateful for that. So that all said, I think we're at the point now where we can do the job. So the tank is out. We've removed the box. We're able to put the box back on because now we have accesses to everything. We're good. I separated this line here. I didn't need to. I'm kind of regretting doing it. The tank is not empty. It's not far from empty, but this will continuously leak fuel. As you can see, the tank is up and out of the way. I didn't need to get rid of that one. I did have to disconnect that one. I gotta put a rag there. So I'm gonna cover that so nothing gets in it. And next step now is we're going to remove Well, I'm going to clean up a little bit because I got all these bits and pieces that I've taken off the bike. I want to put them all together so I don't lose them. And then we're going to start on that. That's the job. And they are all 8mm. They should all be the same size. Boom, 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 boom. They're identical. So there's no size differences I need to be cognizant of. Alright, now we got to get this thing apart. There we go. Little low. There's a pin. They're pinned in. So we gotta back it out. There it is. Cool. All right. There's all the timing stuff. These little fingers are the triggers for that sensor. All right, now I gotta go inside here and pull the clip. There, this bugger right here. I just need to make sure I know how the wire is being routed to make the other one come up that way, and it's coming down through there. All right, pull this out. Nope, yeah, good. There it is. Oh, good, I didn't film that. I didn't film any of that. I just had a conversation with myself. Sorry about that, guys. So I pulled the unit out. It's basically this bracket, 2 bolts. I took it away, it's gone. I replaced the new one. Gasket's on there. I'm definitely replacing the gasket. I needed to cut the gasket to get the line out of there. So that being said, I'm going to just wrestle with this gasket, get this whole thing cleaned up, and then put the new unit on. Well, I'll come back when I put the new unit on. No balls. I'm not sure if there was thread locker on it or not. This thing seemed to be glued in. So I'm going to just put a little bit on there. Torque it down. Nice. Don't know of any torque specs. Don't care. I think the thread locker will be fine. It's in there pretty good now. good. Do a slight twist. Make it want to naturally sit in level. We've already cut this, so I'm going to pull this out. There are sleeves, press-in sleeves here that are good for an alignment. And I'm assuming that's the way it goes. There you go. Now we'll take it off to the bike. I'm gonna get this cover. Sit it in the pins. Line up the pins. There it is. Okay, now we just gotta route that wire. That's all tight. Okay, so that plug is in there. That's all snugged away. That's how they lived, tucked in that corner. Alright, now it's going to be the Airbox. Okay, so the next step now is to put the Airbox in. There's a hose there, there's a hose there, there's a hose there. And then this hose has to be threaded through to come out to the head. I should be able to get this box in and pull up on this hose and get that connected. And then now that I got the gas tank up and elevated, I can reach in here from behind and push these up in there and get those attached to the box. First thing I got to try to do though is get this hose routed in there so it'll come out where it needs to. So it allows me now to reach in here and put these hoses in. It's really hard doing this by yourself. Okay, so all the lines to this box now are hooked up. We want to make sure we get this sitting in here nice. Okay, that runs through here. Alright. Okay, that does that. The oil flow offline back into the head there, and then we can start buttoning things up. Okay. Okay. Okay, another step done. Next will be the air filter box. Tight. Order. And what I don't see is the keys to the fucking thing. Here we go. Nice. Everything's plugged in. Fired right up. All right. So it seems like it starts now. So I'm just gonna put it all back together and call the job done. If you get this code, this is what it takes to repair it. It's quite a job. I didn't take it apart. I didn't take it apart probably in the proper order because I was trying to see how much I could get away with not having to take it apart, but there's a lot there. The tank definitely has to come up. You don't have to take the tank out, just up and out. And you definitely got to loosen these fuel lines to get that to happen. But she's together. I'm going to say it's a reliable bike again. All right, guys, you take care. Ride safe, huh?